What was I thinking? Why didn't I lock the door? Oh, I can't believe I said that. John's Shame Well. Oh, come, all ye shameful, remorseful and despondent. Oh, come ye to John's Shame Well.
Save that for the Christmas special.
Well, it's sort of Christmassy already, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
plenty of carols I can adapt with shame. Folks, this is an absolute humdinger. It was the heady days of 2008, and at a tender age I'd fallen madly in love with a boy that I'd met on holiday in Tenby that summer.
Best year of my life.
Since I'd gone home, the gentleman and I had been corresponding frequently via SMS, and we had grown very fond of each other. I was desperate to see him again, but I knew my mum would never in a million years let me go on a 6-hour, £60 train back to Tenby to meet up with a West Walian bloke I snogged on holes. So I took matters into my own hand. His birthday was coming up, and I told him I was coming to see him. I told my mum I was going with my friend to her dad's in Birmingham, and off I went, but not before swinging by the local Ann Summers in Basingstoke, what an image, to pick up some what you might call top-shelf nighttime attire.
I didn't realise that the concrete jungle that is Basingstoke had an Ann Summers.
There's one on every high street, mate. Like I say, we live in a godless chaos. All set, I hopped on the train, and a short 6 hours and 3 changes later, I was nearly there. As the train passed through Narberth, I headed to the on-train toilet cubicle, Ann Summers bag in hand. Several uncomfortable minutes later, I was resplendent in my saucy get-up, complete with a fetching trench coat that just about covered the lot. The train rolled into dreary Tenby.
Not dreary.
And there was my wonderful, manly, muscular love waiting to whisk me off in a flurry of passion. I hopped off the train and sauntered over to him. As I'd hoped, he swept me up in a wooze-inducing kiss. Ooh. So far, so good. He told me he was happy I'd come and that I looked lush. Nailed it, I thought. But then, gorgeous, sweet man said, "We've just got to go to my dad's house to pick up my birthday cards. He's dying to meet you."
Dear.
He took me by the hand and off we went, just like that. I was so stunned that I just followed, dumbfounded. Oh, great, yeah, I can't wait to meet him too. For some reason, unbeknownst to me now, I decided against mentioning what I thought was fairly obvious, my state of undress. I figured we'd just stop in, say a quick hello, and pop out back to the boudoir to get down to business. But no, of course, his dad insisted on making us a cup of tea and giving us a full tour of the house. I have to say, walking up a flight of stairs in front of your prospective boyfriend's dad whilst wearing nothing but a thong and a trench coat is a traumatic experience. You'd think that it would be enough of a hell for a silly, reckless girl to endure one night, but oh no, it did not end there. We said our goodbyes to Pete's dad, and I thought, finally, the big reveal is close. I just have to keep quiet a bit longer. But
At the moment, it's still funny.
Yes. Oh, it gets funnier. But no sooner had we crossed the threshold of his house than his mum arrived.
Oh my God, I'm going to
said,
start crying.
"Hello, love. It's so nice to meet you finally. Do you fancy a curry?" Like when Alan takes Sonia to Bono's house. He's not in. "Do you fancy a curry?"
Yeah.
"Love, do you fancy a birthday curry? Shall we pop down the Bengal and grab a takeaway?" "Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Let's do that." Off we go.
Also, all of her conversational abilities would have been severely tarnished by her state of undress.
Well, no one knows at this stage.
Yeah, but she knows, so she's not going to be at her best, is she?
The man in my life, still completely oblivious, smiled and followed his mum back out to the door of the car, pulling me along by the hand despite my wide-eyed terror and admittedly internal and completely silent protestations. After an excruciatingly awkward trip to the curry house, maintaining my modesty en route in and out of the car was particularly challenging, we proceeded to eat our curries off lap trays during Britain's Got Talent. And while I rebuffed increasingly alarmed offers to Pete's mum to please let me hang up your coat, love. Understandably, I was sweating profusely throughout the ordeal, partly because I ate a curry wearing a coat in a very warm house, and partly from unbearable heart-twisting, face-melting shame. When the time finally came for us to retreat, I was a broken woman. Not one to miss a meal, even in the direst of circumstances. Hefty portions of boona, rice, naan and poppadoms had rendered me bloated and immobile. As soon as the bedroom door clicked shut, I threw off the godforsaken coat and belly flopped down onto the bed, mortified, all in my sparkly black regalia. Pete's face lit up at the sight of the undergarments, but very quickly his expression darkened as the realisation of what had just occurred over the past 3 hours dawned on him. To his credit, he was... Oh, I just said his blooming name then, I was meant not to. To his credit, he was horrified and apologised profusely for his obliviousness. Quite rightly, he did point out that had I alerted him to the situation as soon as he suggested going to his dad's, he would have cancelled in a heartbeat and whisked me off to the boudoir immediately. To this day, I have no idea why I kept my mouth shut. It's been 10 years and I'm still haunted by the memory of sweat dripping down my corseted back as I tried to yank the lapels of my trench coat across my bosom without dislodging the lap curry or flashing my fishnets at Pete's mum. So there you go, shame laid bare, literally. Please guys, chuck it in the well and let me be free. I was only a carefree young girl trying to give a boy a birthday present.
Absolute humdinger.
Oh, absolute belter.
Never fails to amaze me the endless well of shame we're drawing from.
You never know what's
it doesn't
going on
stop.
under someone's coat.
Shame doesn't stop.
I absolve you completely from your shame.
Yes.
It's a very, very funny anecdote.
What? I sound like do it of the century. I would dine out on that. Also, presumably she thinks about it every time she has a curry.
Yes. Yeah,
What a
every
nightmare.
time she sees an Ann Summers, she thinks of curry.